Coming up on Maverick Postgame, men's and women's basketball finish up their regular seasons at home against Westminster on Friday. We have highlights from both games.
Also, find out how baseball fared in their weekend series against top opponents.
All that and more coming up next on Maverick Postgame. Welcome to Maverick Postgame, fellow Mavs. Hope everyone had as fantastic of a weekend as Leonardo DiCaprio did. I'm Joe Azar, and to my left is Bryce Reedy.
And after a historic weekend last weekend for men's basketball, they had one more game to finish up their regular season. And with that game came an opportunity to clinch the number 3 seed in the RMAC tournament with a combination of a Maverick win and a Metro State loss. CMU played host Friday to the Westminster Griffins, who had beat the Mavs earlier in the season 68-61 thanks to 10 made three-pointers. Now that would lead to this game being a very exciting contest between both teams, and for that we have highlights, and there we send it to Bronson Arena as it was senior night for the Mavericks as Ryan Steffen, his final regular season home game as a Maverick. He congratulates him with coach, gets his jersey and a very nice framed picture, and also gets an award for being the 3rd highest scoring Mav of all time thanks to reaching 2,000 points last week. So very proud moment for the Mavericks. However, the game started out very poorly for the Mavs as they could not get anything to go in the early going, not being able to score a point until 6 minutes into the first half. Meanwhile, Westminster started hitting shots from all over the place. They were able to hit contested three-pointers, and the Mavs just, again, couldn't get anything going. Ryan Steffen there finally is able to put up some points, and then in the second half, the Mavs just went on fire. They ended up going on a run of 31-10 over the course of the first 10 minutes and ended up opening this game wide open. Steffen for 3. He put up 22 in the game. Here's Eimer Lopez as he drives baseline with a nice up and under move. And just C.J. Davis got in the action as well. Deep three-pointer from him. And then to top everything off, Kabir West on the breakaway dunk as the Mavericks came away with a 21-point victory in their final regular season matchup of the year. And with that win, it took till almost midnight to figure it out, but RMAC came out with the results for the RMAC tournament seeding, and the Mavs finished with a good enough record to be the number 3 seed in the tournament. They are going to be taking on New Mexico Highlands on Tuesday in a first-round matchup here at Bronson Arena. And with that, we have more. Here's Whitney Robinson.
The men's basketball team will be facing another tough competitor for the first round of the RMAC tournament this weekend. They will be facing the New Mexico Highland Cowboys. CMU faced them earlier in the regular season with an unfortunate 99-95 loss. A close game for the Mavericks, but the Mavs are hopeful that they will come out with a win on Tuesday. Some athletes to watch out for from the Cowboys are going to be Marlon Johnson, Jonathan Mines, and Kendrick Nichols. Both Nichols and Johnson have scored over 400 points this season, and Mines has scored over 550 points. In CMU's last encounter with New Mexico, Johnson ended the game with a double-double and a monster dunk to gain the lead in the half. Jonathan Mines had 22 points and ended with 2 made free throws to secure the lead. Mines has averaged 22.1 points per game and 4.7 rebounds so far this season, and Johnson and Nichols both have averaged 15 points per game. Even though the Cowboys came out victorious last time, I'm confident that the tables will turn this weekend. I say this because if you look at our record and our statistics, we are the better team. We are 20-8 on the season compared to the New Mexico's 15-13 record. Not only do we have the record to show it, but we have the athletes to prove it. We have C.J. Davis, who is just a sophomore this year, but he continues to appear in the leaderboards every game this season. Another huge player everyone can't stop talking about is, of course, Ryan Steffen. He is unstoppable on the court and is going to be a huge problem for the Cowboys. Steffen recently became a member of the 2,000 Points Club and scored a career-high 45 points versus Regis last week. So far, he has averaged 26 points per game and 11.5 rebounds this season. With this season being his senior year and his last chance for an RMAC championship, you can be sure that he's not going to face the Cowboys without a fight.
Thank you, Whitney, for that report. Now, the women's team was also looking to move up in the RMAC playoffs as they were taking on the Griffin on Friday night as well. However, this game did not go as smoothly for the women's squad as it did for the men's. For that, we take you back again to Bronson Arena for the highlights. It was senior night for them as well. There's a lovely group photo with the players and their family. They got a nice portrait to keep forever. And then this is just a touching moment. Siulu Amanu getting emotional, getting her jersey as well. We're going to pick things up right at near the end of the fourth quarter. Sydney Small with a close game drains that free throw, and then Small again comes up big with the layup. Here comes a reoccurring theme though. Brianna Adams draws the foul, chance to get some points at the charity stripe, and misses. And that would be 9 missed free throws for the Mavericks, but then she redeems herself with that 3. Again, Adams, layup, bucket. And I promise you this is the same highlight. It's just she's that good at that move. And then here comes the big moment. 27 seconds left in the game. Mavs down by 3. Who do they go to? Of course, it's Brianna Adams. Shot. Boom goes the dynamite. That's a 3 to tie the game, send it into overtime, but it was all Westminster at that point. There's a big 3 there. And then another big 3 to seal things off. It was 69-62, the final score. Mavericks just couldn't come away with it. And now following their 69-62 overtime loss, the women's team had to wait and see where they would be seeded for the tournament. It came out that Mesa got the 7th seed with a 17-9 overall record, and they will be heading on the road to take on the 23-5 CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves on Tuesday night. The team lost to them 70-59 back in January here at Bronson Arena, but they will be looking for the same revenge on Tuesday night.
Now, softball took 3 out of the possible 4 games from this past weekend series against Chadron State and CCU. Now, their only loss came in the opener, falling to the Eagles 3-2. Zoe Pakes hit a 2-run dinger in the bottom of the first, but that would be the only run production that the Mavs were going to get. Then at the top of the fourth, Chadron hit a home run of their own, but unfortunately this was a 3-run blast for the Mavericks. In the next game, CMU again drew first blood with 3 runs in the bottom of the first, which led them to a 5-2 victory. On Saturday, the Mavs continued their winning streak, taking down the Eagles 9-5 in their first game of the doubleheader. Once again, CMU got off to a hot start with 3 runs in the bottom of the first, and in the bottom of the fourth scored 4 runs to get their run total to 9. In the second game, there would be no offense in the bottom of the first, but the CMU would later score 3 runs in the CMU would score 3 runs in the bottom of the second to take a 4-0 lead. The Mavs added a run in the fifth to win 5-2. Brooke Hodgson is starting the season off to a great note, starting the year with a 4-0 record from a pitching standpoint. Hodgson and company will look to play a doubleheader at home this weekend against Regis on Saturday and Sunday.
Now, baseball rose up to number 3 in the national polls, and they had a tough challenge ahead of them when they hosted number 13 Dixie State in a 4-game series. CMU opened the series with back-to-back walk-off wins. Their first game was a scoreless going into the 6th, then the Red Storm put up a run to take the lead. However, CMU answered in the bottom of the 8th thanks to a wild pitch by Dixie's second baseman, allowing Alex Fife to reach home. The game would reach extra innings where Zach McLeod singled and scored the winning run in the bottom of the 10th for the 2-1 win. Then on Saturday, CMU got the early 3-0 lead thanks to Matt Allen's scoreless outing on the mound, he struck out 5 in 6 innings pitched. In the 7th, Dixie would tie the game up and would do so again in the top of the 9th after CMU scored in the 8th to even things up at 4. This time, it was Kyle Serrano who was the walk-off hero, hitting a ball to deep left center field to win the game 5-4. Now, in the nightcap, Dixie exploded for 5 runs in 2 innings, and despite a great comeback from CMU, they would eventually fall 6-5. Now, Sunday's game was decided by a run, with Dixie State unfortunately winning 13-12. CMU trailed 12-6 entering the 8th, but they tied it up with a 6-run inning. Dixie would add on to the winning run in the 9th to split the series. The next series for CMU will start on Friday when they take on Colorado Christian in Lakewood.
And now it's time for the Mav of the Week, and we're going to wrestling for this one, as this week's winner is Daniel Salazar. Salazar won the 141-pound title at the NCAA Super Region Tournament. He finished the regular season with a 27-4, becoming one of 5 Mavericks to earn All-RMAC award and made it to his second All-Conference. He will make his second appearance in the national tournament, and we wish Salazar luck as he represents our school on the national level.
That'll do it for this week. Check back with us next week as we break down all the scores and stats from CMU sports, including that amazing playoff game here for men's basketball. With Bryce Reedy, I'm Joe Azar, wishing you guys a happy week, Mavs.